Hello everybody. Welcome to those of you who are listening on the replay. Hi, how are you guys doing? I had a little false start there and I'm getting back into it again. I accidentally started this. I don't even know if you guys can see this with all that light. Entitlement eating and giving up sugar. That's what we're going to be talking about today. See if I can turn it on. Okay. Boy, it's been so long since I've been on here. I'm forgetting how to do it. How's everybody doing today? What day is today? Thursday. Hope you guys are all having a great day. Hi, Lenore. How are you doing? Hi, Kay. It's good to see everybody here. Okay, today I want to... Oh, hi, Melanie. How are you doing? Today I'm going to be answering an email from somebody. Thanks, you guys, for inviting followers. Thanks, Karina, and thanks, Melanie. So let me just start out. I'll be reading this email and we're going to answer it. It's about eating. Okay, this person, this is Candy, and she says, I've been working through Freedom from Emotional Eating Bible study and I haven't lost any weight yet, but I continue to truth journal every day. I'm starting to see trends in my habits. Okay, so I'm just going to pause every once in a while I'm reading this. And the first thing Candy says is she's starting to see trends in her habits. And you guys, that's one of the best things about truth journaling and taking off the lies, putting on the truth, is you start seeing where your problem areas are. Because chances are you don't have problem areas in every area of eating, but you have problem areas in some areas. And so if you keep continually renewing your mind, you'll figure out what your problem areas are. Okay, so that's what Candy was doing. She's going to tell us what her problem areas are now. The two biggest ones I see are, I binge on sweets when I'm hurting. How many of you guys do that? Does anybody ever binge on carrot sticks or celery when life is going hard, right? None of us ever do that, right? Okay, her second problem is I have an attitude of entitlement. And so she goes on to read some more, and I'll read that. And basically she's asking for help with these. So we're going to start with the sweets one. Candy says, I often hear people say, too bad food wasn't like alcohol. You could just go cold turkey. I've decided that sweets are indeed like alcohol and I can go cold turkey. Okay, isn't that interesting? I'm cutting all the processed sugar for now, forever. I don't know. I'm sincerely at the place where if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. I've written a list of can haves and can't haves. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is it a good idea to give up all sweets? And then if you decide to do it, how do you do it? Okay, first of all, I think that depends on the person. Okay, some people might be better off by getting rid of all sweets, and some people might be better off keeping them in. I personally think it's helpful to give up all sweets, and I agree with Candy when she says food might not be like alcohol, but sweets is. You can give up all sweets. Okay, the question is how to give up all sweets. Okay, and I have some tips for you if this is something you guys want to think about. Okay, I am actually giving up sweets now, and I'm doing it not so much for weight loss and maintenance, but I'm doing it for my health. Because, I'm 55 years old, and I just am trying to really start being healthy. So how to give up sweets if you want to. Okay, the first thing I would suggest is to think about what your life is right now with sweets. Okay, do you have that in your mind? If you're eating sweets, are you the type of person that tends to binge on them? Or even if you don't binge on them, are they an unhealthy amount of your daily eating? See, I found that to be true for me, that even though I don't binge on sweets, even though I'm at the point now where my weight loss is control, I still feel like I have too high of a percentage of my daily calories in sweets, and that's not healthy. Okay, so picture that life. Now picture your life if you had no sweets at all. Okay, it'd be kind of boring, right? You're thinking about that. Not as fun. But of the two different lives, of the life without any sweets at all, or the life where you're binging on sweets, which life would you rather have? Now, I kind of think you'd probably rather have the life with no sweets, right? Most of the people, when I ask that question, they say, life is better without sweets when you compare it to that life where you're always binging on sweets. And I know that's the way it used to be for me when I was binging on sweets. Would you recommend getting rid of artificial sweets too? Well, Well, I might, from a health standpoint, I probably would, just because they're not healthy for you. But yeah, I mean, I guess I would. Or maybe I'd have like one Diet Coke a week or something if I struggle with that. I think it's better just to get rid of sweets altogether, or maybe start using honey. Okay, why not have sweets in moderation? You can. Okay, but here's the question, and this goes back to what my first point was, if you want to give up sweets. Are you capable of having sweets in moderation? Okay? Are you capable of having sweets in moderation, or do you always start out in moderation and then move slowly towards that life where you're eating way too many sweets? If you can have sweets in moderation, I'd say go for it. Yes, that's the best choice. But if you're not at that stage right now, which is the better life? Life with no sweets at all, or life with lots of sweets? Okay, why aren't artificial sweeteners good for you? I think, actually I won't get into that in this post because it's more on giving up sweets or not. But you could Google it on the internet and see what you think about that and make your own decision as far as that goes. But so what I've been doing when I've been trying to give up sweets, and when I see something and I'm really, really wanting something, I kind of mentally say that in my mind. Okay, Barb, which is the better life? Life with no sweets at all, or life where you have sweets as much as you want and you slowly go towards that healthy end where you're having too many sweets? For me, it's life with no sweets at all. But I will tell you that I'm at the stage of my life, as far as being in control of food, where I can have sweets at social occasions or holidays, and it's not a problem for me. So whereas I'm not having sweets in regular life, I am having sweets on social occasions, like if we have somebody over for dinner or go to somebody's house for dinner. I'm also having sweets on holidays, like on Thanksgiving, maybe I'll have it on 2 days, Christmas, maybe a couple days. So I am making some modifications, but back in the old days when I was always binging, I'm not sure if I would have been capable of that. So you'd have to kind of think, okay, what's best for you? Would you be capable of that? Now this is just for you guys who want to go off sugar. I'm not saying you have to go off sugar. Okay, so that would be one helpful thing if you want to try and get rid of the sugar. Another tool that you could use that would really help you, okay, we talk about the renewing of the mind a lot. Okay, by desserts, by sweets, I mean desserts, I mean candy. Like I don't even have scones. I probably wouldn't have pudding. So basically not anything that's kind of a sweetie sort of thing. Okay, because for me, I'm really doing it for health. I'm trying to be healthy. But if you're doing it for weight control, you'd want to do it, get rid of anything that would set you off. Okay, so the second tip is to watch the movie Fed Up. Okay, I haven't actually watched this movie yet, you guys, but I'm recommending you watch it. It's about the food industry and childhood obesity. And the reason I'm recommending it, Karina was the one, I'm not sure if Karina's on here today, but Karina was the one that first told me about this movie and how great it was. She said you had to watch it. And the other day I had somebody email me and she said she had watched it a few weeks ago. It totally changed her life. She was convinced about how bad sugar was for her. She went off sugar and she's staying off it, and it's helping her stay off of it just because the movie kind of showed how bad sugar was. So you can renew your mind with scripture to deal with things like entitlement, but I also think that you can change the way you think about food by reading books on food or on health or watching movies. So that's a suggestion that you guys could watch that movie. And the third one is just to ask yourself, is it an idol? Is it an idol? Okay, for me, when I, back in the days when I, was still in control of food, I found that I turned to sweets to cope with life. Didn't turn to celery, didn't turn to salads, none of that, but I turned to sweets. So if I'm turning to sweets when I should be turning to God, that's kind of a sign that it's an idol in my life. And so back a long time ago, when I tell about it in Freedom from Emotional Eating, I gave up sweets because I found out they were idol. For a while, they're not an idol anymore. Right, so just recognizing that it was an idol for me, that made it easier to give it up. So if that's something, if that would be helpful, those are the 3 suggestions I have. To watch that movie Fed Up, to think about your life without sugar, your life with sugar, and asking yourself, are you capable of sugar in moderation, or to see if it's an idol. Okay, so, hi Kelly, thanks. Yeah, I'm finally on. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I'm going to get on tomorrow again at the same time, 12 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. I've had several emails on, I think they're mostly on sweets related subjects, or not sweets, weight loss. So I'll be doing 2 more scopes, another one tomorrow at 12 o'clock Mountain Time, and I think I'll probably do one on Monday too, but I'll let you know tomorrow. Okay, so that's that part of the email. Okay, then she goes on to say, I continue to truth journal over the things that stress me out and or hurt me. I really love truth journaling. It brings a lot of clarity in my mind. Okay, so I've, of course, found that out too, right? That's why I wrote a lot of my things, because I wanted to share some of these tools that have helped me. Truth journaling, if you guys are new to my scopes at barbraveling.com, you can look under the Renew Your Mind tab and then click on Renewing Your Mind Tools, and I have a couple blog posts on truth journaling. So if that's something that you want to do that you think would be helpful, go ahead and you can find that at my blog. I also talk about it in my books, Taste for Truth, 30-Day Weight Loss Bible Study, and Freedom from Emotional Eating. Okay, so the last question she had, I am also praying that God will heavily convict me over time. The rotten attitude of entitlement comes up. How grievous it must be to God. I'm trying to get to the point that it grieves me too. Okay, and then she says, any advice on the above? Okay, how many of us struggle with entitlement? Oh, that's great that you're teaching your adult daughters about truth journaling. Both of my daughters truth journal. They started in high school and love it, still do it today. Okay, so entitlement. How do you get over entitlement? I think you renew your mind every time it crops up. You know, we live in a culture that's saturated with this idea of entitlement. And so I think it's just one of those things we have to renew our mind about, kind of develop that, okay, we're not here to, make sure life is about us and getting everything we want. We should have a servant attitude. We should be willing to give things up for God, that sort of thing. I can't remember. Anyway, I lost my train of thought there. But I don't think it's one of those things that easily you get rid of. I think it just comes with renewing your mind over time. And usually when you renew your mind, you are grieved right after that. Oh, that's a great idea. I reflect in the grocery stores in Russia I saw with empty shelves, Melanie said. What an incredible way to get over entitlement. That's a great way. And if you guys have any other ways, go ahead and suggest them there. Yeah, if we think about how little people get to eat in so many places in the world, where, just think of how much we eat on a diet. We feel like, oh, we're so deprived and life is terrible. But we get to eat way more than people who are starving in other countries. Like even if we're on weight loss rations, that's a lot of food compared to other people. So those are just some ideas. If you guys have any questions for me to do on Periscope, I actually have an Ask Barb tab now at my blog. Look under it's called Podcasts and Other Resources. And there you can click on a little tab that says Ask Barb, and you can give some questions and I'll scope on these. Yeah, truth journaling as soon as an emotional upset occurs. That's a really good point too, Melanie, because if you truth journal right away, if you go to God right away, then you'll get rid of all those negative emotions and you won't feel like eating. Okay, a lot of times we don't do that. A lot of times we go eat first. But anyway, if you can do that, that's way better. Yeah, truth journaling for just the negative self-talk. And I also have a Renewing the Mind tools in my blog with live truth charts you can use for truth journaling. Oh, I started to break out the attitude of entitlement by cutting out sweets to start. That's a great idea. Because in a way, it's like you're holding sweets with open hands. You're saying, I don't have to have everything. That's a great way to get rid of entitlement. Anybody have any other ideas? You guys are giving some great ideas here. Great helps. Thank you for that. I'm also, just let you know, I'm redoing my blog right now, so it's kind of messy right now, but I have somebody helping me with the design. So in a few weeks, I hope to have that ready. I'm not sure how long it takes, but anyway, hopefully that'll be done soon and that'll be exciting. So thanks, you guys. Hope you have a great day following your boundaries, and I'll be on tomorrow again at the same time.